And I'm pursuing for my life and our church this year of 2017. And what the Lord has placed upon my heart as the foundation this year for church growth and to continue to fulfill God's plans and purposes upon our church. And this is our motto for this year is one team in 17. One team in 17. Tell the person next to you, one team in 17. On a team, it's not the strength of the individual players, but it is the strength of the unit and how they all function together. And that's the head coach of New England Patriots, Bill Belichick. Talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships. It was Michael Jordan who said that. Phil Jackson said this: the strength of the team is each individual member. The strength of each individual member is the team. One team for 17. Last Sunday, we learned a few things that started us off on the right track for this year. We learned that we get by giving, we rise by lowering, we gain by losing, and we live by dying. I'm just going to highlight this real quick for some of you that weren't with us the last Sunday afternoon. We get by giving. Luke 6:38 says this: give, everyone say give. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be poured into your lap. For with the same measure that you use, it will be measured back to you. So those of you that are looking for financial breakthroughs within your life this year, listen, it's all about giving and then getting. Come on, somebody. Give, and it will be given to you. And also we learned that we rise by lowering. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 6 says this: humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. Humble yourselves. See, God rises us and raises us up when we humble ourselves before the presence of God. And those of you that say, this is my year, this is the year that I am going to fulfill God's plan and God's purpose upon my life. This is the year that I'm giving my all and all into the plan of God upon my life. Then it starts off by humbling ourselves before the presence of God. We learn that we gain by losing. Matthew chapter 10, verse 39 says this: whoever finds his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. This year we have to let go and let God. We got to let go and let God this year. Also, we learned that we live by dying. John chapter 12, verse 24 said this: I tell you the truth, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds. Now, this year, we want to produce. I want these chairs to be filled with my unsaved family and friends. I want to see your son and your daughter, your grandchildren that you've been praying for a number of years now. I want to see them right here in the house of God, raising their hands and worshiping the Lord, getting behind this pulpit and say, man, I thank God for my salvation. But first we got to die to self so that others can be produced. I want to see those that are walking around Union Avenue right now. Those that are waking up right now on the verge of divorce. Teenagers on the edge of getting involved in a lifetime experience of drugs and alcohol and prison and jail and juvenile. I want to see God touch their lives and bring them right here to his house. We want to see some productivity of souls within our city this year. I want to walk into our 9 o'clock service and we don't fit. Come on, somebody. I want to come into the 11 o'clock service and say, man, we don't fit in this sanctuary no more. I want to be able to come into the 9 o'clock service and say, you know what, have the homes go home. You know, they already received at 9 o'clock, just have them go home for the 11 o'clock because there's not enough room in our church. Come on, men's home, women's home, right? Okay, that was your opportunity. Henry Ford, he said this: coming together is the beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success. One team in 17. It's going to take a team concept to break our city open. It's going to take teamwork to continue this road of building a mega church right here in Bakersfield. It's going to take a team concept to launch out into VO needed cities. It's going to take teamwork to fulfill God's plans and purposes for our church as well as for our personal lives. And every good team have some spoken and unspoken principles that they live by. And since this is the wild card weekend, I'm going to be using the NFL motto today. The NFL has 4 unique qualities that they stand by. And they say that if every team, or those teams that apply these 4 qualities, that they will become great, effective, and champions. They will become great, effective, and a championship team if they transmit these 4 qualities throughout the entire year. Super Bowl Sunday, they'll be the championship team. Come on, somebody. How many of you want to be a champion this morning? Huh? Well, the Raiders are out of it. But I watched that game yesterday, and I was rooting for the Raiders because I still want a California team to win. And they didn't. But I'm going to talk about some of the things that the NFL applies to our NFL teams, and those that take it and those that transmit it throughout the season become a championship team. One team in 17. Last year, I believe that we did not accomplish all that the Lord had for us because of a lack of teamship. I truly believe this, church. I truly believe that we did not accomplish all that God had for us because of a lack of teamship. There were too many quarterbacks and not enough wide receivers last year. There's an unknown person that said this: teamwork is the fuel that allows common people to obtain uncommon results. And I don't know if you know by now, but we are a common people right now. And we want to obtain some uncommon results. I want to see some breakthroughs this year. Come on, church. I want to see some miracles take place in our church this year. I want to see people that walk through the front doors that are strung out on heroin, and as soon as they walk through the front doors, they start feeling the presence of God upon their lives. And before they leave this church, they're completely healed by the power of God. I want to see people that are sick in body this year come to this altar, and God does the supernatural upon their lives. I want to see some uncommon things take place this year. We want some uncommon results. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want to have an instant replay of 2016. How many are glad 2016 are gone? Huh? Thank God we're not in 2016 any longer. I was counting down the days. But I don't want an instant replay this year of 2017. These are the 4 characteristics that the NFL gives to their teams: respect, integrity, responsibility to the team, and resiliency. Respect, integrity, responsibility to the team, and resiliency. And I want you to turn your Bibles to 1 Peter chapter 2. 1 Peter chapter 2. Give me a loud amen when you have it. Glory be to God. Let's begin reading in verse 11. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 11. It says, "Dear friends, I urge you as foreigners and exiles to abstain from sinful desires which wage war against your soul. Live such good lives among the pagans that though they accuse you of doing wrong, they may see your good deeds and glorify God on the day he visits us. Submit yourselves for the Lord's sake to every human authority, whether to the emperor as the supreme authority or to governors who are sent by him to punish those who do wrong and to commend those who do right. For it is God's will that by doing good you should silence the ignorant talk of foolish people. Live as free people, but do not use your freedom as a cover-up for evil. Live as God's slaves." Verse 7. "Show proper respect to everyone. Love the family of believers. Fear God and honor the emperor." The Bible said, show proper respect to everyone. Now this is what's going to build one team in 17. That we show proper respect to every person that is in this place and every visitor that walks through that door, whether they're loaded, whether they're drunk, whether they're falling on the floor. We got to have respect for God's people this year. That word respect, it means regard for the feelings, wishes, or rights or tradition of others. A feeling of deep admiration for someone, consideration and appreciation. A feeling of admiration that you have for someone because of their special personal qualities and their achievements or their status, or that you show by treating them in a polite and kind way. A championship team respects their teammates, respects their personal qualities that are needed for the overall team. And you say, well, what does that have to do with us this morning? Every person in this place right now is an effective team member that's needed in this house so we can fulfill God's plan upon our lives. Every person in this place. That means if we're going to be a championship team, then you and I got to learn how to respect each other. We got to learn to look at everybody that they have a unique quality. It may not be your quality, and it may not be what you think is right, but they have something that we need for our church so that we can be the church that God has called us to be. And the only way that we're going to be a championship team that is able to possess this land and to launch out in other lands is we have to learn how to respect each other right here, right now. See, this past year, some of you went through the whole year without liking each other. Somebody say, well, Pastor, how do you know? I know. I see some of you talk bad about each other on Facebook. I said, man, aren't they both from our church? Got to learn how to respect each other. Huh? Got to admire the quality that they do have. The achievements that they do have. Listen, everybody here has an achievement. You have an achievement this morning. You made it to church. Some of you, the devil was all over you last night. Some of you this morning, when you woke up in your house, there was an evil spirit in your house trying to stop you from coming to church. But you said, man, devil, I'm not going to allow you to keep me here. You achieved something. You are here today. We have to have respect for others. See, not everybody's a happy-go-lucky person like you are. Huh? Just know that. Not everybody's on cloud 9 like you are this morning. Some people are fighting a fight that you know nothing about. Huh? Sometimes we have people come into our church and you don't know what happened in their house last night. You don't know what's going on with their marriage. You don't know what's happening with their children. Their children might have ran away last night. And when they walk into the house of God, they're carrying some heavy burdens. And here we come and say, oh, look at them, but they can't even hang. And look at them, they can't even make it. And right away you disrespect them, not knowing what they're going through in life. This year we got to have some respect. Huh? These are characteristics that are going to build the house of God. These are characteristics that not only build championship NFL teams, it could build a championship church. You don't hear that word mega no more. Huh? You don't hear that word mega no more. There's nobody preaching mega no more. Listen, I believe that this is our year of mega this year. This is our year of coming to this church, and we cannot fit any longer. Huh? But it's going to take people that respect one another, not only in the house of God, but outside these four walls. So when people are facing tough times, they know that they could walk into the house of God and somebody's going to make them feel better. Huh? Respect. Also, the NFL teams are taught integrity. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 9 says this: whoever walks in integrity walks securely, but whoever takes crooked paths will be found out. Come on, somebody. You know you can't hide anything from God. Huh? Especially in Bakersfield. Right? 1 Kings chapter 9 says this: when Solomon had finished building the temple of the Lord and the royal palace and had achieved all he had desired to do, the Lord appeared to him a second time. As he had appeared to him at Gibeon, the Lord said to him, I have heard the prayer and plea you have made before me. I have consecrated this temple which you have built by putting my name there forever. My eyes and my heart will always be there. Verse 4. As for you, everyone say if. God told him, as for you, if you walk before me faithfully with integrity of heart and uprightness, as David your father did, and do all I command and observe my decrees and laws, I will establish your royal throne over Israel forever. As I promised David your father when I said, you shall never have a successor on the throne of Israel. I want you to know this morning that integrity accomplishes much. Huh? This year, we need men, women, young people, gang girls, new gen, men and women that have integrity, that are walking faithfully before God. Integrity means this: being honest and having strong moral principles. Come on, somebody. Huh? It means behaving to the moral principles that you believe in so that people will respect and trust you. Huh? This year I've heard people say, Pastor, they don't respect me. Come on, somebody. Huh? It works two ways. It works two ways. There's a reason why they don't respect you. Huh? It says, behaving according to the moral principles that you believe in so that people will respect and trust you. Integrity works two ways. First of all, we read that integrity brings security in God. See, when we're standing right before God and we're walking right before the Lord and we're leaning on His plan and His purpose, it's like a security blanket that God has over us. There's a freedom that we have that regardless of what we face, regardless of what we go through, whatever it is that comes our way, we have a deep down security because we know that we've been walking right before God. Oh, I hope you can hear me this morning. Huh? There's nothing like having security in God. When the enemy hits, and when he hits hard, and when he comes at your family, and when he starts attacking your children, you're able to say, God, I know that there's a breakthrough right around the corner. I know that you're about to move within my life, within my family. Why? Because you have a security in God. And that comes from integrity. Walking right before God. Secondly, integrity produces respect and trust of others. Huh? What's your life portraying to people? Do they see you teach one thing and act out another thing? Huh? You ever seen people, you go, hey, didn't they just preach about that? Anybody ever do that? Weren't they just preaching about love? Dang, they're hating right now. Anybody ever do? Am I the only one? Right? See, integrity produces respect and trust of others. Now, if you want to be a good leader this year, those of you that are leaders and those of you that are interns, you want to be a leader one day, then we got to have integrity. People have to respect you and trust you. And the way that people learn to respect and trust us is if whatever we're preaching and whatever we're teaching and whatever we're saying, we are not only doing ourselves, but we are practicing it before them. So I want you to know this year, especially those of you that are going to be launched out in a few minutes, your integrity is going to make you or break you. Huh? See, all the life groups, they're going to be filled up this Tuesday. Every one of them is going to be filled up. Why? Because it's potluck. And everybody likes to eat. Come on, somebody. Right? Some of you are going to walk around and say, what are you going to have? 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 And the one that has the best food, that's the one you're going to be at Tuesday. Right? It doesn't matter if the guy teaches good or not. You're going to be there because of the food. But listen, I want you to know that it's going to be our integrity. And if people learn to trust us, and if people learn to follow us, that's going to bring them back the following Tuesday, and the following Tuesday. So this year, if you want to be a person that grows in your ministry, if you want to be a team member that can be counted on, then we got to have integrity within our lives today. I heard my first pastor told me that integrity means this: what we do behind closed doors. Oh, come on, somebody. When no one else is there. Oh, you don't hear me. That's integrity. You know, I've learned this. Every time you get a victory, you're closer to who God has called you to be. We say, Pastor, what does that mean? It's like in my life. I pastor the greatest church in Victory Outreach today. Okay? But it didn't come easy. Since the day I got saved, the devil has always tried to knock me out. Oh, you guys don't hear me. I was an alcoholic, and I remember we were going to the streets. And we started going to the streets as soon as we got saved. And I remember it's like it was yesterday. We met up on a Saturday when we went to go hit the streets and pass out flyers. You guys know what that is? Some of you say, what are flyers, Pastor? Oh, you should know, right? And we went to go pass out flyers. And I remember there was a group of guys sitting on the side of a house, and they were on chairs out there. And I know what they were doing. They were getting high and drinking. So I remember I went back there, and I went to go give them a flyer and invite them to Victory Outreach. And then I began to share with them what God done in my life. But they were drinking, and they were drinking Bud Light. Okay, Bud Light was my choice of alcohol beverages, right? So they were drinking, and I was right there, and they were talking to me, and then one of them went, oh, come on, you guys don't hear me, right? And I heard it go, and it went in my ears. And I'm not kidding right now. When I heard that, I tasted it. I tasted it. See, I was an alcoholic. So when he went like that, I just like, oh man. I forgot where I was, right? devil. That was the devil trying to stop me from becoming who I am today. Trying to stop me from becoming the man and the husband and the father and the grandfather and the pastor that God had called me to be the very moment that I gave my life to him. He was trying to knock me out. And I've learned that every time the devil came and hit, every time he hit, and every time I broke through and I trusted God and I said, God, I don't want to go back to where I come from. I don't want to go back to that lifestyle. I know that you've called me. You've delivered me. You've done a miracle upon my heart. All I want to do is serve you. All I want to do is give the rest of my life to hurting people and doing your will. So every time I broke through that fence that the enemy put up in front of me, God always blessed me. And it took me a little bit closer to my calling. This morning, I want you to know that what we overcome behind closed doors is what gets us closer to our calling. Huh? I hope you're catching this morning. This year is one team in 17. Thirdly, responsibility. Championship NFL teams are taught responsibility. Acts chapter 6 verse 3 says this, brothers and sisters, choose 7 men from among you who are known to be full of the Spirit and wisdom, and we will turn this responsibility over to them. Now, the responsibility that Acts chapter 6 verse 3 is referring to was this, caring for the people and meeting the needs of the people. Now, I want you to know this morning that you and I have a responsibility. Every one of us today knows somebody that needs Jesus. Do you know that by next Sunday morning, if every one of us was to catch what God is saying today and take the responsibility that God has placed within our hearts, that our church would be doubled in 1 week if you and I took our responsibility and went out to the streets, went to our neighbors, went to our children, went to our family members, say, listen, you are going to church with me next Sunday. As a matter of fact, I'm going to fast so that you wake up in the morning. Our church would double. If we caught and took the responsibility that God has given us over his people. Responsibility means something for which one is responsible for. It means a duty, an obligation. It means a burden. Our church, I pray, is filled with a burden this morning. A burden. When there's somebody here that should be in church, but you don't see them, I pray you're filled with a burden. I pray that when you come to church next Sunday, or when you come here Friday for the Friday night prayer meeting, and you see somebody that's not here, I pray that all through the service, all you're doing is thinking about him, and all you're doing is wondering about him. And as soon as church is let go, I pray that you go over there and you look for them, and you tell them, listen, man, we miss you. Is there anything wrong? How can I help you today? Do you need some prayer? What is it? I pray that there's a burden that's dropped upon our people this year. Having a hurt in their hearts when they see people struggling. Huh? This year, if it's going to be a new year, there has to be a new you. Huh? Having a burden for people. You see somebody struggling. You shouldn't feel like, oh, dang, they're struggling. Maybe I'm going to take their position. It should be more of, man, how can I help them? What can I do to take some of the weight off of them? Huh? If you and I are going to build a championship team this year, we have to learn how to be responsible for each other. A good team is always looking out for one another and not just themselves. We will not win with self-promoters. People that are always out for themselves never want to give up the ball and let others play. We don't need no self-promoters this year. And if you can learn anything, learn this morning. It doesn't matter who gets the glory. It don't matter. It doesn't matter who gets the glory. On every NFL team, whoever wins the Super Bowl, every player is getting a ring. Every player. It doesn't matter if they were hurt all season. It doesn't matter if they're sitting on the sidelines all season. They're still getting a championship ring. Why? Because they're a team. They did their part somewhere down the line. And if you and I are going to be a championship team this year, then we got to stop having self-promotion. It's funny how I see mature people come to me. Pastor, guess what I did? Okay, what'd you do now? And now I just say, well, how'd you save the world? How'd you save the world? Tell me how you saved the world today. Because they come to me like they saved the world. And all I'm going to do is say, okay, good, okay, let's go save again, right? Listen, if you just keep it between you and God, God's going to bless you. That's your blessing. When you come and tell me, that's your blessing already. You're not going to get much. I might give you a pat on the back. Oh, you saved the world. Good. My grandchildren could grow up in the world now. You know? But God's going to put another diamond on your crown. I'm not going to put another diamond on your crown. I'll sell that diamond right now. Shoot. Gotta stop being self-promoters. Whatever ministry you're involved in, listen, you give it all you got. Don't let that spirit creep back into our church this year. That spirit that self-promotes. Lastly, championship NFL teams are taught resiliency. Luke chapter 9, verse 5, it says this: if people do not welcome you, leave their town and shake the dust off your feet as a testimony against them. Let me read that one more time. If people do not welcome you, leave their town and shake the dust off your feet as a testimony against them. In other words, stop tripping. Don't trip. Don't stress. Don't complain. Just shake the dust off and let's go on. It's what the word is saying. We need some resilient people this year. Men. We need some men this year that are resilient. We need women that are resilient this year. We need gang and gang girls and new gen that are resilient this year. We need couples that are resilient this year. You say, Pastor, what does resilient mean anyways? It means the capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. It means able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult times. Capable of returning to an original shape or position after being compressed. Recovering easily and quickly from shock, illness, or hardship. Able to quickly become happy, healthy, and strong again after an illness or a disappointment. This year we need team members that are able to shake it off. We need team members that are able to shake it off. We could put that song on right now, Shake It Off. What's that girl's name, Berto? Taylor Swift. Right? Shake it off, shake it off. We need team members that are able to shake it off. Last year we had more grudge holders than team members. See, I need I need some people that are able to just shake it off. Oh, and I got that song in my head. I got to get it out of my head, right? We need men and women that are able to, man, they got hit by the devil, but they're not staying down for the counts. You might take the 1 count. You might take the 2 count. You might take the 5 count. You might even take the 10 count, but you will not take the 10 count. You might take the 8 count, but you're not going to take the 10 count. So I got to get that song out of my mind. See, we need people to get back up. Everybody is going to get hit from time to time, but we need resilient people that say, devil, you might have hit me, you might have slapped me, you might have kicked me, you might even knock me down, but you will not keep me down because God is able to see me through, and I'm standing on resiliency this year. I don't need people that, oh, Pastor. That's how the guys come to me sometimes. Pastor. I say, oh my God, here we go again. You just don't know. Oh, come on. All of us got a wife, brother. Be quiet. All of us got kids. Come on. You know, I never hear the women go, Pastor. I never hear the women say that. Say, where's your husband? My fool stood home, but I'm here. I'm here. I want some God up in here. I need men that are resilient. Just get up, man. Just shake the dust off. Who cares if they talked about you? Who cares if they didn't shake your hand this morning? Who cares if they didn't tell you good morning or open the front door up for you? Listen, we serve a big God with a big plan, and we don't have time to worry about the petty. Get back up, shake the dust off, and let's do what God has called us to do this year. Resilient people. 2016, I saw so many people get just a little smacked by the enemy, and they're laid out. Took the 10. Got to carry them off. They still haven't got back up yet. No, just get back up. You might have battle scars. Your armor might be all dented and dirty. Just get back up. I didn't have a good 2016, but we're not in 16 no more. Devil got me kind of twisted last year, but we're not in last year no more. It's time to get up and say, God, you did a miracle upon my life. You changed me. You delivered me. You set me free, and I will not give in to the enemy's tactics this year. Get back up. And listen, wives, tell your husband to stop crying. Tell your husbands to stop crying before I do. Because when I do, they cry more. Bro, just get right. Oh, you too. You don't love me either. Come on. What's wrong with you? I don't know what neighborhood you came from. Oh, you were segregated. All right. Okay. All right. It's time to get right, church. Last year is last year. If you were stuck in the miry clay last year, just get out this year. Today's a new day. But I need some men that are resilient. Boom. All right. Boom. Right? You never let nobody hit you in the world. Even if you knew you had a beat down coming, at least you got one inside there. Right? That's the way many of us, maybe not everybody here, but that's the way many of us grew up. Even when we had to face the person that we knew was going to take us out, we still put one inside there. Okay, all right, but at least means we did something. Stop letting the devil smack you around this morning. Get up. Give him another one. Give him a kick. Shank him in his spleen. Do whatever you got to do to put him down and put him behind you so that you can be the man and the woman, the couple, the young person, the gang girl, the gang warrior, the ninja. Listen, God has called you. Stop letting the devil stop you. We have a cause in Victory Outreach. And our cause is to reach the world. But we first got to conquer self. They say that majority of the NFL team players step on the Super Bowl field already injured. Already injured. They say that most of the players for Wild Card Weekend are already injured from the entire season, and they still get on the field to play. They're playing for a title. We're playing for heaven. They're playing for a ring. We're playing for a crown. If they could get back on the field, if they could break their finger, break their ankle, break their shoulder, and say, listen, just wrap me up, do whatever you got to do, but I got to get back on the field because I want to play until the end. This is what I've been waiting for my entire life, and I'm not going to let this pain stop me, wrap me up and put me. That's all you and I got to be today. Just wrap me up, put me back in the game. A lot of people licking their wounds last year. My wife's dog is still alive. I thought for sure 2016 would be her year. But she has I think my wife prays for her or something, I don't know. But she has a supernatural life expectancy or something. But the other day, my wife took her to the doctor. Do we have any dog lovers here today? Any dog lovers? Say, yeah, I love my husband. Animals. Yeah, I love him. No, four-legged creatures. Yeah, I love him. No, you know what I mean. She took Brandy to the doctor. And what happened was she had an infection that started off very, very little, just a very small infection that she could have self-healed. Like many of us, we get sick, get some type of infection, cold or whatever, and our body just self-heals it in time. A few days of rest and drinks and chicken soup and 7-Up, whatever those things we take, and our body just kind of, our immune system builds up and fights it. That's what she had. But what happened was she wouldn't stop licking her wound. And it turned into a big infection. And last year we had a lot of people licking wounds in the church that started off little, but because they kept on licking their wound, it grew. Infection set in. Some people got sick. Some people are still sick. And all because of licking their wound. This year, we got to stop licking wounds. Now, Brandy, she's walking around the yard and inside the house when Arlene lets her in, and she has this thing over her head. It's kind of round, it's tied to her neck, and it goes out like that, like a cone all over. She can't turn to the right or to the left. She can't put her head up. She can't even get her food, She has that cone. I said, man, that's a good idea. So I brought a bunch of them this morning. We're going to put them on some people today. Those ones that have been licking that wound and letting it get infected to where it causes problems in relationships, causes problems in the church. And while we're trying to build a championship team there are those that are licking their wounds. Terry Bradshaw said this: bad attitudes will ruin the team. And usually wound lickers ruin the team. Tell the person next to you, are you a WL? I want to see spiritually our church go past wild card weekend into the Super Bowl and come out wearing a 2017 championship ring. Come on, somebody. Huh? I sat down and we were watching the game yesterday, me and my wife, Pastor Alex, and Desiree, and my youngest son, Danny. We're watching, I think we're eating more, but we were watching the game. And again, I'm not a Raiders fan, but I wanted the Raiders to win yesterday. And I wanted to see the Raiders go to the Super Bowl and win. I wanted a California, if the Rams didn't do it, well, at least a California team would do it, right? So that's how I am. That's the way I am. So those of you that are outside of California teams, and that's the way I am. I want California to win. So anyways, I was watching it, and you know, my son Adam, he's one of those crazy Raider fans. One of those crazy ones. The ones you see on TV like, oh my God, that's him. Okay, right? You go a little bit too far, that's him. Right? He's a crazy Raider fan. His socks, underwear, shoes, shirt, pants, gloves, slippers, everything's Raiders. That's all he has. And I remember on Christmas Day, he came to, when the Raiders lost that Saturday. It was Saturday, yeah. On Christmas Day, came to my house bummed out. He was mad. Jesus' birthday, he was mad. Right? And he wasn't mad that the Raiders had lost. He was mad because Carr got hurt. And I said, man, it's all right. Next week, look at the Rams, man. I'm okay. I'm happy. Right? I go, next week. And he goes, no, it's over. It's over. I go, well, what do you mean? He goes, it's over. The whole season is over. And he's serious. He goes, it's over. I go, well, they got next week. They bring out that other guy, McLaurin, or whatever his name is, right? Maybe something, he'll do something, the supernatural. No, it's over. It's over. It's done next year. It's done, right? And at first I was thinking, well, he's just being a little bit negative, right? Because when the Rams lose, I go, next Sunday, next Sunday, next Sunday, next year. But he goes, no, it's over. It comes the following week, they lost. Yesterday, they lost. And my son I even called my son yesterday too. I go, what do you think? What do you think? It's over. I already told you. It's over. The reason why, and this is the mistake that the Raiders made this year, is their whole team was built around Derek Carr. The whole team. The team was built around Carr. And my son has been following the Raiders for so long, and he's seen the progress. This was the year that it was predicted because of the team that they put together the past few years, that they were going to do good this year. But he knew that the whole team was built around Carr. And if Carr wasn't in the game, they were going to lose. He already knew. You see, in this year, in our church, we don't want to build our church and our ministry around just individual people. It's our whole team. Our whole team. We don't have a drummer today. There's another one right there. Huh? Ross has a cold. There's another brother over there. Right? The sisters can't sing. There's more sisters in the church. Right? Oh, pastor's sick this morning. There's plenty of preachers in the church. I can't do my life group because I'm sick. Oh, use your understudy. We do not want our church built around one person. We are a team. There is nobody greater inside of here. We all need each other. I don't have to be the one preaching this morning. We got plenty of team members. Huh? And we'll all get the championship ring. Whether we're the quarterback or not. All of us. There's an unknown person that said this. We must remember that one determined person can make a significant difference, and that a small group of determined people can change the course of history. Do you know that if we all fall in line this morning, and we don't just have one determined person, but we have a group of determined people, we can change the course of history. Huh? I see in our ministry, Victory Outreach International, we have like a core of churches that are constantly launching out churches into different parts of the world and different cities that are in desperate need of Victory Outreach churches. And my prayer is that we're one of those churches. That every year, there's someone from this church that is raised up that says, Pastor, I'm ready to go. I am ready to go. That's my goal in life. That we have such a championship team that we're able to release another couple here, and there's somebody that's ready to take their place. We're ready to release another couple here, and there's somebody else ready to take their place. We're ready to release another couple here. I want to be a championship church that's able to fulfill God's plan and purpose in our ministry. The only way we're going to become that is by having respect, integrity, responsibility to the team, and resiliency. Huh? Just getting back up. I'm ready. You had a bad year? It's a new year. You had a bad day? It's a new day. Today's the day to get up. To get up. Say, Coach, put me back on the team, man. Put me back in. I'll do whatever. I'll do whatever you want. God, I'm ready to do whatever you put before me. I'm ready to do. Do we have anybody here as you stand this morning? Is there anybody here today that says, Pastor, I want to be on the team. I'm tired of sitting in the bleachers. I'm tired of watching everybody else. I'm ready to be on the team. Maybe this is your first time here. Maybe you've only been here a few weeks. Listen, it doesn't matter. If you say, I am ready, this is what I want for the rest of my life. God has changed me. He's delivered me. He's set me free. And He's done that with the purpose. And I want to fulfill that purpose upon my life. If that's you, I want you to come out of your chair.